I sat frozen on our Boston sofa, heart sinking as Lisa, my soon-to-be ex-wife, casually announced she'd carry her twin sister's baby, her voice light like we were picking takeout, while a betrayal brewed behind my back for weeks, shredded me apart before I could even catch my breath. Hey everyone, I'm Grant Sullivan, 35 years old, and you know what? I've been through over a decade of building a life with Lisa in Boston, raising 3 amazing kids, only to watch it all crumble when she decided to play surrogate for her twin sister without so much as a whisper to me until it was too damn late. Let's rewind to the start. 11 years ago, I met Lisa at a dive bar off Beacon Street, her laugh cutting through the smoky haze like a beacon I couldn't ignore. I was 24, fresh out of engineering school, working late nights at a startup near Kendall Square. She was 23, a paralegal with a sharp wit and a smile that could melt steel. We hit it off, dates at Fenway Park, late-night pizza runs on Newberry Street, a whirlwind that ended with a small wedding at City Hall, her in a white sundress, me in a borrowed suit, both of us grinning like fools. 3 kids came fast. Tommy's 8 now, Ellie's 6, and little Mia's 4, and we carved out a life in a cozy house near Boston Common, picket fence and all. I thought we had it figured out. I'd pull 50-hour weeks coding software, Lisa juggled, part-time paralegal work, and the kids, our nights filled with SpaghettiOs and Pixar movies on the couch. Sure, things weren't perfect, money was tight, arguments flared over bills or whose turn it was to do the dishes, but I loved her, loved our chaos. Her twin sister Sarah and husband Kevin were constants, weekend barbecues at their place. In Newton, kids running wild in the yard. I knew Sarah struggled to have kids. Lisa'd mention it sometimes, her voice soft with pity, but I never thought it'd blow up our world. Lately, Lisa'd been distant, more calls with Sarah, late-night chats she'd brush off as family stuff. And I let it slide, trusting her, figuring it was just sisterly closeness. I was proud of our family, our grind, until that night, on the couch when she dropped her bomb, and the slow unraveling of everything I'd built hit me like a freight train I didn't see coming. Life with Lisa and the kids in Boston was my anchor before it all went to hell, a steady rhythm of school runs, TV nights, and weekend escapes that kept me grounded. Picture our mornings, me rushing out the door with a coffee in hand, laptop bag slung over my shoulder, kissing Tommy, Ellie, and Mia goodbye as they scrambled for backpacks, Lisa yelling, "Don't forget lunch!" from the kitchen. I'd code all day at the firm near South Station, debugging lines while the city buzzed outside, then haul back home to our little clapboard house near the Common, the smell of Lisa's chicken casserole hitting me as I walked in. Evenings were ours. Tommy sprawled on the rug with Legos, Ellie coloring at the table, Mia giggling through Peppa Pig reruns on the old TV, Lisa and I trading tired smiles over glasses of cheap red wine we'd picked up from the corner store. Sarah and Kevin were woven into it, Lisa's twin and her husband, always around, their place in Newton a 30-minute drive for barbecues or Sunday brunches. I'd grill burgers out back while Lisa and Sarah swapped stories over iced tea, the kids tearing through the yard with their cousins, Kevin tossing a football like the big brother I never had. Lisa'd vent about Sarah's fertility struggles. "They've been trying forever, Grant." And I'd nod, "That's tough," feeling bad but never digging deeper. Work was steady, 50 hours a week, decent pay, enough to keep the lights on and braces on Tommy's teeth. But Lisa's part-time gig at a law firm downtown kept us stretched thin. Lately, she'd been off, more secretive, sneaking calls with Sarah, brushing me off with just helping them out. I didn't push, trusted her too much, figured it was sister stuff, not some ticking bomb. Those days felt solid, our little world humming along, imperfections and all, until that surrogacy plan crept in like a thief, ready to steal everything I thought we had. It all started unraveling one quiet night on our Boston sofa, me flipping through channels, Lisa scrolling her phone, the kids asleep upstairs, when she dropped the bomb that had gut me. Out of nowhere, she set her phone down, turned to me, and said, "So, I've been thinking about doing something really important for Sarah," her voice casual, like we were debating pizza toppings. I glanced over, half distracted. "Yeah? What kind of important thing?" She looked up, a weird smile tugging her lips. "I'm gonna be her surrogate." I froze, letting out a half laugh, waiting for the punchline. "Wait, what?" But she just nodded, beaming like it was genius. "Like you're gonna carry their baby?" I sat up, the remote slipping from my hand as my stomach sank. "Yeah," she said, all breezy. "Sarah and Kevin have been trying so long, and since we're identical twins, it's practically like Sarah's carrying her own kid." My head spun. "Lisa, are you serious? When did this even come up?" She shrugged. "A few weeks ago. We've been talking about it for a while." I stared, jaw slack, trying to process. "And you didn't think to mention it to me?" She sighed, setting her phone aside like I was a chore. "Grant, this isn't about you. It's my body, my choice. I don't need permission." "Permission?" "Lisa, we're married," I shot back, voice rising. "This is huge. It affects both of us. How could you not talk to, me first?" She rolled her eyes, rolled them, like I was the crazy one. "I'm telling you now," she said, cool as ice. "Oh, great. Now, after you've already decided? That's not how marriage works." Her face hardened. "Look, I knew you'd react like this. That's why I waited. But this is happening. Whether you support it or not. An ultimatum. Clear as day. Get on board or get out." "So that's it?" I exhaled, shaking my head. "Either I'm okay with this or what?" She crossed her arms. "Or maybe we should rethink things." There it was, the line in the sand. I couldn't believe it. My chest tightened, a mix of fury and hurt boiling up as I realized she'd already checked out, her casual shrug cutting deeper than any fight we'd ever had. The betrayal sank its teeth in deeper when I realized Lisa hadn't just sprung this surrogacy crap on me out of the blue. It had been festering behind my back for weeks, maybe months, a full-on conspiracy with Sarah and Kevin that I'd been too blind to catch. That night on the sofa in Boston morphed into a slow-motion car wreck. I started piecing it together. The hushed calls with Sarah, the family meetings, Lisa Dodge explaining, the way Kevin had been extra chummy at our last barbecue. "How long?" I demanded, voice low, staring at her across the living room as the TV flickered some mindless sitcom neither of us watched. "How long have you three been cooking this up?" She sighed, picking at her nails. "A while. Few weeks, maybe. A couple months. We saw the doctor last month." My gut twisted. "The doctor? You've already been planning this with them?" She nodded, nonchalant. "Yeah, we had to figure out logistics." Logistics, like it was a damn IKEA furniture order, not a baby tearing our marriage apart. "And you didn't think to tell me?" I snapped, standing now, pacing the hardwood. "Lisa, this isn't logistics, it's our life." She looked up, annoyed. "Grant, don't make this about you. It's my choice, not yours." I laughed, bitter, hollow. "Your choice? You, Sarah, and Kevin sat around scheming this for weeks, and I'm just supposed to nod and smile? That's not a marriage. That's a goddamn ambush." Her eyes narrowed. "You're overreacting. I didn't tell you because I knew you'd freak out." "Freak out? I'm freaking out because you lied to me, planned a kid with another guy behind my back." She stood too, arms crossed. "It's not like that. It's for Sarah." "Bullshit," I shot back. "If it's for Sarah, why is it my wife carrying it?" She had no answer, just glared. And that's when I laid it out. "If you do this, Lisa, we're done." She scoffed. "You're being ridiculous. I'm not changing my mind." 2 months later, she was pregnant, confirmed it with a shrug. "It's happening." I nodded, walked out, and filed for divorce, too. Days later, papers ready since that sofa night. My heart a wreck, but my spine finally stiff. The fallout hit like a damn tsunami once I filed those divorce papers in Boston. Lisa's family came at me like a pack of wolves, all teeth and guilt trips, as if I was the one who'd torched our marriage. Sarah called first, voice dripping. With sanctimony? You're abandoning Lisa. She needs you now more than ever. I laughed, bitter. She needs me. She made this choice, Sarah, not me. She huffed. It's beautiful what she's doing for us. You're heartless. Beautiful? I snapped, pacing my kitchen. You and Kevin cooked this up behind my back. Don't act like I owe you shit. Kevin tried next, all fake calm over the phone. Grant, man, this is a special thing she's doing. Don't you see that? Oh, I see it, I shot back. I see you two wanted a kid and Lisa jumped in without a word to me. That's not a partnership. That's a betrayal. He stumbled. We're family. Not anymore, I cut him off, hanging up as his excuses faded. Lisa's mom was the kicker. Her call came late, voice heavy. I can't believe you'd do this to the mother of your kids. I gripped the counter. She did this. She chose Kevin's baby over our marriage. She sighed. You're cold, Grant. I thought you were better. Better? I barked. She planned this for weeks behind my back. Where's your lecture for her? Silence. Then she hung up. Lisa herself? She played shocked when I handed her the papers. I didn't think you'd actually do it. Her eyes wide, like I'd been bluffing that night on the couch. I told you, I said, voice flat. You go through with it, we're done. She shook her head. You're overreacting, this isn't fair. Fair? You think it's fair to blindside me with this? I asked, incredulous. You said it yourself, your body, your choice. Well, this is mine. Her family kept at it. Sarah's you vowed to stand by her, met with my she vowed to respect me. Guess we're both liars. The shock on their faces, Lisa's, Sarah's, Kevin's, only fueled me. They'd counted on me folding, but I was done being their doormat. Living with Lisa during that Boston separation was like breathing through a chokehold. Technically married, but I'd checked out the second she got pregnant with Kevin's kid, and the tension in our house was thick enough to cut with a knife. She was supposed to move out. State law demanded a 12-month split before divorce, and we'd agreed on 50-50 custody for Tommy, Ellie, and Mia, so she'd find a place nearby. But she didn't. It's hard to find something close while pregnant, she'd say. Her excuse flimsy as hell, and I knew it was more about her convenience than the kids. I'd retreat to my corner, living room or garage, avoiding her like a ghost, but she kept acting like nothing had changed, like I was still her husband on call. One night, she waltzed into the living room where I was watching a Celtics game, belly showing under her shirt. Can you run to the store for me? I didn't look up. For what? Pickles and ice cream, she said, casual as ever. I let out a dry laugh, eyes on the screen. Yeah, that's not my job anymore. She sighed, loud and dramatic. Grant, come on, it's a quick trip. I turned, voice flat. I'm not your husband now. Call Sarah or Kevin. Her jaw tightened, but she stormed off, slamming a cabinet in the kitchen loud enough to wake the dead. It became a pattern. She'd drop hints. This is so hard alone, rubbing her belly like I'd cave, and I'd ignore her, flipping channels or burying myself in work emails. Weeks in, her hints turned to whining. I don't know how I'm doing this without you. One night, as I cooked for the kids, her voice heavy with exhaustion, I kept chopping carrots. Call Sarah, call Kevin, she huffed. You're impossible, and stomped off, leaving me to plate spaghetti in peace. The air was a battlefield. Every sigh, every sideways glance a jab, but I held firm, my spine stiffening each time she tried to pull me back into her mess, knowing I'd never play dad to a kid that wasn't mine. The breaking point hit one late Boston night. Me in bed, half asleep after a long day when Lisa's knock jolted me awake, her voice pleading through the door. Grant, please, just this once, can you help? I yanked it open, bleary-eyed, and there she was, pregnant and frazzled. I haven't slept. I'm exhausted. I crossed my arms. Not my kid, not my problem. Her face twisted, tears welling. For God's sake, it's 3 a.m. I need you. Huh, that snapped something. No, I barked, stepping forward. You don't get to need me now. You chose this, Sarah, Kevin, the baby, not me. She flinched, sobbing. You're so heartless. How can you do this? Heartless? I laughed, sharp and cold. You're the one who torched us, Lisa, not me. You planned this behind my back and now you're shocked I'm out? Deal with it. Her tears turned to rage. You're still my husband. You can't just pretend I don't exist. I stepped closer, voice low, lethal. I'm not your husband. Not in any way that counts. You made that call when you picked them over us. Don't come crying to me now because it's harder than you thought. She stared, stunned, then screamed, You're a monster! I can't stay here with you! Then go, I said, flat, turning back to bed. An hour later, I heard her, bags rustling, the baby's carrier clattering as she packed. She stormed into the living room, glaring, I'm leaving! I can't do this with you acting like this! I didn't move from the couch, didn't look up from my book. Good luck. She stood there, waiting, maybe for me to stop her. To beg, but I didn't. The door slammed, the house falling silent, and for the first time in months, I felt the weight lift, a raw, jagged relief cutting through the pain as I realized I'd finally broken free. Lisa bolting didn't end the war. Her Boston clan came at me like a damn firing squad, calls and texts lighting up my phone as I tried to breathe in the quiet she left behind. Sarah hit first, her voice shrill over the line. You abandoned Lisa when she's struggling, how could you? I laughed, cold. She abandoned me first, chose you and Kevin over our marriage. She's doing something beautiful, Sarah snapped. You're heartless. Beautiful? I shot back, pacing my kitchen. You three schemed. This for months behind my back. Don't cry to me now she's drowning. Kevin tried next, all fake buddy bullshit. Man, we're family. Lisa needs support. Family? Ah, I scoffed. You barely show up for your own kid. Don't dump this on me. He mumbled. Sarah's still recovering from her crash. And I cut him. Then step up. This isn't my mess. Lisa's mom called late, voice heavy with guilt trip syrup. I can't believe you do this to her. She's still your wife. I gripped my coffee mug. She stopped being my wife when she got pregnant with Kevin's kid. She chose that, not me. You're cruel, she said. I thought you were better. Better? I barked. Ask her why she lied for weeks. Where's your sermon for that? She hung up. Silence her only answer. They kept coming. Sarah's, you vowed to stand by her, got my, she vowed to respect me. Guess we're both liars. Kevin's, we're all in this, met my, you made the call, not me. A week later, a letter from her mom landed. 3 pages of family comes first. Lisa sacrificed growing up. You owe her. I read it, laughed, hollow, bitter, and tossed it in the trash. They thought volume would break me, but I stood firm, their words bouncing off like rain on steel. I wasn't their punching bag anymore. Lisa didn't vanish after storming out. She slunk back into my Boston life through the kids, wielding them like a weapon to drag me back into her chaos. She'd call for visitation. I want to see them, she'd say, voice soft, and I'd let her, for Tommy, Ellie, and Mia's sake, not hers. One Saturday, she showed up, all weary eyes and sighs, sitting on my couch with Mia on her lap, spinning tales. The baby's keeping me up, it's so hard. I kept folding laundry, silent as she went on. I just need a little help to get back on my feet. Then the bomb, maybe I could move back in just till I figure this out. I stopped, turned. No, you made your choice. You don't get to crawl back here. Her face crumpled. The kids need their mom. It's not fair to them. They have you, I said, voice flat. But that doesn't mean I'm letting you back in. She pushed. You're splitting our family! Tears welling as Ellie peeked in, confused. You did that, I fired back. You picked Sarah over us. Deal with it. Tommy asked later. Why's Mom sad about the baby? I knelt, gentle. She's helping Aunt Sarah. That's her thing, not ours. But Lisa kept at it. Next visit, she sobbed. I can't do this alone. You'll regret this. I stood firm. You chose it. I didn't. She glared. You're a bastard, and stormed out, slamming the door, leaving the kids rattled. Mia tugged my sleeve. Is the baby our brother? I sighed. No, sweetie. He's Aunt Sarah's. We're still us. Her eyes searched mine, and I hugged her tight. Lisa's guilt trip stung, but I wouldn't let her use our kids to claw back what she'd burned. The divorce slog in Boston was a brutal marathon, but when the gavel dropped, I walked out with full custody of Tommy, Ellie, and Mia. Lisa got visitation, and that was victory enough for me. The courtroom was a circus. Her lawyer spun her. As a selfless saint, she sacrificed for her sister, while mine laid out the truth. The baby's not his. She chose this alone. I sat there, jaw tight, as Lisa's side claimed I'd abandoned her, her eyes glistening for the judge. I love my kids, she sniffed, but my lawyer hit back. She's unstable. Prioritized surrogacy over family. Texts, emails, my warnings from that sofa night, it all piled up, and the judge saw through her act. Full custody to Mr. Sullivan, he ruled, and relief hit me like a wave, though it wasn't joy, just the end of a war. Outside, Lisa cornered me, voice shaky. I'm sorry, I messed up. I want to be in their lives. I nodded. Then, show up for them. But this is over. Sarah tried one last jab. You're cruel. Abandoning her. And I snapped. She chose you. Live with it. Kevin mumbled. We didn't mean... But I cut him off. Save it. Her mom stayed. Quiet, finally out of ammo. Back home, the house settled. Me and the kids, no more chaos. Tommy asked, Mom's not coming back? I hugged him. She'll visit. You're stuck with me. Nights got steady, homework, pizza, no crying baby or slamming doors. Lisa, faded, stayed with her mom, visitation spotty, but I didn't care. I'd fought, won, rebuilt. Her betrayal couldn't touch us anymore. If the one you love betrays you, don't take it. Walk away, hold your worth like I did with Lisa. You don't owe them your ruin, set boundaries, stand tall, and live for you. What's your fight?